Well, the weird thing is, I'm not stuck for something to do. Let's put it that way. I have loads of things, and I again start a video without sufficient context. Let me rewind. I have had a bit of a hard time for the last couple of months, and it kind of gradually got worse. And I started seeing my therapist again, who first diagnosed me with ASD, and there's a new service in town for people on the spectrum, and I can't access it, of course, because I'm not officially diagnosed. So, what with the whole depression kicking in, I thought, why not do that as well? So I reached out for a talk to change, and they kind of on board me, and I went to the GP, and he promptly signed me off work for a week and gave me something called Sertraline. It's an antidepressant. Well, it's a neuroinhibitor anyway. It's doesn't work for a few weeks, and it takes some time to build up, I guess. So I'm sitting here thinking, what can I do? And I've written a nice blog article about my experience this morning. Rather long post, but I'm sure it will resonate with some of you, and be interesting for some of you anyway, I hope. So I'm sitting here with nothing really to do other than what my GP said, do something that you enjoy, do something relaxing, and just basically calm the hell down. And he didn't say that. But I guess it's implied. So I have a long list of things that I need to get done, and having been signed off work for a week it should be it should be something very positive, because it would enable me to do a lot of work. But I don't really think that's the spirit. And while getting myself to a better place, I don't know, it needs some distraction for sure, but is doing the other work the same distraction as reading a book or doing this? I think this is helpful, so I'm doing this, and I've got 3 subscribers now. Hey, thanks for following, and I'm posting on Medium now, because I think that way I can actually reach an audience. Looking at the official blog post figures, it doesn't still post there, because everything needs a home, and Medium is a channel I see as a kind of a social media almost. It's like a microcosm. I certainly read a lot of stuff about actually autistic people, and stuff that is currently going on in my life. Everything from relationships to divorce to work environments and everything else, and it's a tough old nut. So this is more of a random blog entry than a considered post with a topic, but the blog post, well, my experience this morning, let's maybe talk about that for a second. So I need to get an official diagnosis, and I need to go to a GP who will then put me into the system, and then I will get somebody to I guess assess me, an assessor. And it all sounds very challenging, in the sense of you're being assessed. It's like a test, and I hate kind of tests. I like quizzes though, because with a quiz there's nothing at stake other than maybe a wooden spoon in the pub. But with an assessment, there's something riding on this. There's a certification, a rubber stamp that says this person is like this. So yeah, that's pretty much the situation there. And I don't know So I was kind of stressed out over that. And then I get there and I leave enough time, top and tail, to make sure that, in case stuff's busy and running late, I've got enough time, obviously. But I get there and I check in, and there's a long queue of people waiting to see the receptionist, and someone is blocking the screen. Get them to move aside, use the screen, and then they don't tell you where to wait. They don't tell you whether it's upstairs, downstairs, left side, right side, nothing. It just says you're checked in. So I then queue up anyway because I need to make a flu shot appointment, and after 10 minutes I give up, and because it doesn't even move, and I go upstairs and wait there. And then the time of the appointment arrives, and nobody calls me. I'm like, what's going on? Am I in the wrong place? Is he running late? And after 15 minutes, it's basically the allotted time is 10 minutes, and then after 5 minutes after that was done, I decided that after 15 minutes I should probably go downstairs. So I was waiting patiently up there for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then I go downstairs and queue again, but luckily enough there wasn't much of a queue left. And then she just looks at me and says, "No, you're not checked in." I'm like, "Well, I checked in on the screen and said I'm checked in," and I get quite irate, and she just looks at me and says, "I'll check you in now, just take a seat." I'm like, "How long will I have to wait? I've got to go to work, I don't know what's going on." So I'm getting really upset. I try not to have a meltdown or otherwise show that I'm losing my grip on things. But it's like nobody really cares. It's like, okay, it's weird. Getting a bit upset there. So I wait and I distract myself, and finally get called in, and I can't look the guy in the eyes. Yeah, not even close. Usually I'm pretty good looking people in the eyes, but I could not even look in his general direction. I was totally, I felt actually autistic for the first time in my life, in the sense of, not maybe the first time, but whatever skill and ability I developed over the many decades before even I had the diagnosis, to kind of cope. Because I know that my behaviour impacts on other people. I'm often overbearing. I'm too much, and I do sometimes weird things and say weird things. So I usually have myself very well in check, and that kind of completely, the moment I walked through the door, was just I don't know. It's hard to explain. I was not myself, but I was very much myself. I was like. There wasn't even a consideration whether I should mask anything. There wasn't a consideration of, maybe I should, behave differently or tone it down and be polite or, In fact, it didn't. I was not thinking about that in the moment. I was simply trying not to sob uncontrollably or be upset, and I explained it to him. I was having a meltdown and I was really struggling, and then why I was there, and I luckily enough I did the blog post, so I wrote it down, what I actually wanted to say, and that helped. And then he's just saying, "Good, you're talking to Talk for Change, and they're the ones who will get you access to the assessment and to the treatment. They're basically doing that, so that's good." And he signed me off work, and he said, "I'm going to take you, give you an antidepressant to stop your mind going ba 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 bam, and calm down and just relax and catch a break, basically." And I said, "Look, if you sign me off for 4 weeks, then I might lose my job, because I've at least lose everything that I worked for very hard for the last 5-6 months, because." Just a week. So I kind of twisted his arm a little bit, but it was like, okay, fine. And it takes 4 weeks for the bloody drugs to work anyway. So I'm sitting here thinking, what else to do? Well, I'm doing my blog. I'm doing this post, and I don't know whether you guys find it useful, but I would really like feedback. So don't be a stranger. You know, leave a comment or reach out on the secure email. It's absolutely fine to be anonymous. I mean, I'm being anonymous, unless you know this face, in which case it's you know who I am. Yeah. What a day, eh? My life is very interesting at the moment. Let's say it. Let's say that. Anyhow, I hope you're having a good day or night, wherever you are. And thanks for watching.